this is a tough business to run for president.
I know. You're a tough guy, Jeb.
And we need to have a leader that is principled.
Tough.
You're never going to be president of the United States by insulting your way to the presidency.
Let's see. I'm at 42 and you're at 3. So
Doesn't matter.
far I'm doing better.
Doesn't matter.
So far I'm doing better. You know, you started off over here, Jeb. You're moving over further and further. Pretty soon you're going to be off the end.
So a lot of us probably got some news we did not think we would hear. And that is Joe Biden has agreed to debate Donald Trump twice this year, once in June and once in September. Now, there are a few stipulations to this debate, naturally, because it can't just be one-on-one free-for-all, right? It can't be that. They have to have some kind of advantage, right? So let's look at Joe Biden's video trying to act all tough with his squinty eyes. So he tweets, his handlers tweet, Donald Trump lost 2 debates to me in 2020. False. Since then, he hasn't shown up for a debate. Now he's acting like he wants to debate me again. Well, make my day, pal. I will say before I start this, I do think Trump should have debated the Republican primaries. I understand he had like a 40-point lead, whatever, but I do think it shows a little bit of weakness that he didn't debate. I'm still a big Trump guy. I hope he wins, but I do think he should debate it. Just like I think Biden should have debated Dean Phillips, Marianne Williamson in his debates, and also when RFK was running as a Democrat, he should have debated him too before he switched to independent. Both sides should have debated, so I don't think you should call out one without the other. But here is him acting tough.
Donald Trump lost 2 debates to me in 2020. Since then, he hadn't shown up for debate. Now he's acting like he wants to debate me again. Well, make my day, pal. I'll even do it twice. So let's pick the dates, Donald. I hear you're free on Wednesdays. Donald Trump lost 2 debates to me.
So there you have it. Trying to act all tough. And what's funny, too, is if you look at, I'll put it on silent this time. Look how much they clip this. Look, like there's no gaps. Like, it's crazy. I understand that, like, YouTubers do this a lot, TikTokers, because it's attention grabbing, right? I don't think I have ever seen a Joe Biden video like this. Usually it's just him talking, him on stage, it's never clipped like this. So you could tell they're trying to put in more effort to make it seem like he's coherent and all there. So props to to your little department there. So this is the stipulations I was talking about, right? So Charlie Kirk tweets, Biden is trying to make it look like he's not afraid to debate Trump. He knows he needs to make some waves to stop his recent slides. So why the cowardly terms, right? So 1, Biden wants a TV studio, no live audience. It's interesting, no live audience. He has to be CNN, ABC, CBS, or Telemundo. I'm not sure why Telemundo, unless they're going to be speaking Spanish to each other. So CNN did get the first one, and ABC got the second one. Funny how that works out, right? Mike's cut off when time is up. Now, I have mixed feelings on this. I understand like people talk over each other. It can be really annoying in debates when people aren't giving the other person an opportunity to talk, and it's just a bunch of nonsense. You don't understand what's going on. I think Piers Morgan videos are infamous for this. Piers Morgan talks over everyone. So I have mixed feelings about that. At the same time, I think like you could be cutting someone off right when they're making a point, and you could cut them off too early to your advantage. Like who's controlling when the things are cut off, and how do you know it's the exact time? I think there could be some controversy there, but Trump did agree to it. And there are only 2 debates instead of 3, which is interesting. There was only 2 during COVID because COVID, Joe Biden was scared, so I'm surprised he even did 2 that year. But so there's only 2. There's typically 3. So it's definitely interesting. I feel like the live audience thing is what interests me the most, because I feel like, now obviously it depends on where they do the debate at. I don't know what city CNN's going to be hosting this in. But it's interesting. If they don't want a live audience, that just shows, I think, how the Democrats know they're not very popular, and they're worried that there'll be more Trumpers in there than Biden supporters, and they wouldn't want that. So I think that's interesting. What's also interesting, this just came out right after he announced the debate. Biden plans executive order to shut down border once crossings reach 4,000 per day. Now, we all know the border crossings have been insane over the past few years. I think what was it? 2021, there was like 1 point some million. 2022, I think got up to 2 million. I think 2023 is over 2 million crossings. So it's insane that now, and I think a couple months ago, people were saying, why don't you do an executive order? And they're like, oh, we don't know if we can. Even though he reversed every Trump policy possible that helped the border, now he wants to fix it, right? It was kind of like the border bill that was all about sending money to Ukraine and Taiwan and Israel and Gaza, and there's a little bit for the border, but it didn't. They couldn't send people back until like 5,000 per day, which still equaled like 1.8 million a year. So this is 4,000 per day, which would still equal what, like 1.4 million a year. So yeah, that's still a lot of migrants coming through the border. Like, why are you still trying to let so many? It's insane. Like, what is this going to do? So Biden did have the executive power all along to close the border, but he lied and didn't. And it's obviously, all this stuff he's doing obviously is a re-election grab. He doesn't plan on closing the border. He doesn't plan on fixing the border because he would have done it by now. You don't need to, you can do this with executive order. And the thing too is with that border bill, why did he wait till 2024 for that? Why didn't he do it in 2021, 2022, 2023? Why did he wait till election year? Huh? You got to see the timing of these things. The timing is always the shadiest part. And this is actually funny. I just happened to scroll across this, but we always got to look at embarrassing Jeb Bush moments, right? So I think this is what will happen if Biden does debate Trump. I think Trump will absolutely demolish him. So let's just give you guys a little taste of what it could potentially be.
This is a run for president.
I know you're a tough guy, Jeb.
And we need to have a leader that is
real tough.
You're never going to be president of the United States by insulting your way to the presidency.
Let's see. I'm at 42 and you're at 3. So far I'm doing better.
Doesn't matter.
So far I'm doing better. You know, you started off over here, Jeb. You're moving over further and further. Pretty soon you're going to be off the end.
This doesn't do a thing to solve the problem.
And this is when Trump ended Jeb Bush's career right here. This was so embarrassing. Poor Jeb Bush, the only Bush man that has been able to become president. But yeah, I think the key thing really with Trump Biden, and I think Trump in an extent does need to control himself. If I was Trump personally, I would try to get Biden to talk as much as possible, because one, they're only gonna be able to drug him so much like at the State of the Union. And two, when he talks more, he stumbles more, he slurs his words more, he loses his thought more. And there shouldn't be a teleprompter there, so he's going to have to come up with all this at the top of his head. So Trump, letting him talk would be the best advantage for him. If Trump starts over-talking him, trying to hear himself talk and makes it about him, that's going to cause issues. That's the best thing Trump can do in this debate coming up. So I want to look at some polling numbers here. They're kind of all over the place, but in general, so like for the general election, it looks like it's about even. Trump's up 1 point roughly, which I don't get how with the way the world's been the past few years, but whatever. Minnesota, Trump's actually only down by 2 points. Minnesota, to put this in perspective, when Reagan became president, I think it was the 1984 election against Mondale. Let me just look up real quick. Minnesota was the only state, besides D.C., obviously not a state, but only state that did not go red. So just to show how significant that would be, see? So D.C. and Minnesota were the only states to not go, well, only state and D.C., only ones not to go red for Ronald Reagan. That is how significant this would be. So only down by 2 points, that's insane. This says Biden up 2, Biden up 3, general election here from a week ago. This was from a couple weeks ago. So these are all the swing states now. So Wisconsin, about even, Trump 1, Biden 2, depending on who they ask. Pennsylvania, Trump 3, Trump 4, Trump 3. Nevada, Trump 13, Trump 14. I guess that's not looking like a swing state anymore. And honestly, I think this is just a theory. Don't quote me on this. I think a big thing is that during the COVID lockdowns and stuff, people were fleeing states like California and New York and going to states like Texas and Florida. But a big thing too is I think a lot of people left California and went to Nevada because it's right there. Short drive, you still get similar weather. So I think that's what this Nevada influx could be right here. I think that could be the conservatives leaving the state of California and going to Nevada. That's just my theory. I don't know if it's true or not. But that is a huge advantage. Michigan, Biden +1, Biden +3. But then this says Trump +7, Trump +2. So this is kind of all over the place. Biden +3, Trump +7. So that's kind of interesting. So I think Michigan's still kind of swing. Georgia, Trump 9, Trump 8, Trump 10, Trump 8. Georgia's an interesting one too because I'm pretty sure the 2020 election was the first time Georgia went blue since I think Bill Clinton. Georgia history. See if I can find it for you guys real quick. Yeah, so right here. 2020 blue, and then red, all the way to Clinton's first term. So that's pretty crazy. So they were always Democrat before that too, up until, what is this, 1984 or 1964, Goldwater. What was that against? Lyndon B. Johnson. And then I guess a third party won in 68. That's interesting. And then Nixon, who was really popular. Carter, both times there. But then, yeah, Reagan, Bush, and it had always been red up until last year. And I personally thought last year was kind of fluky when it came to that. Like how close it was. There was no indicator. They were leaning more blue before that. I don't know. It just seemed really odd to me. So, yeah, so that's getting there. Arizona, Trump 6, Trump 9, Trump 7, Trump 9. So that's interesting too. And I think that another thing with Arizona could be that they're the ones dealing with the border firsthand. Now, the immigration issue is a huge issue for a lot of people. It's not just Texas and California and the states because they're everywhere in the country. When you're letting in 7 or 8 million people over a 3 or 4 year span, they're not going to be held to a few states. They're going to have to find a way to where to put them. And Biden has already admitted to flying them on planes to all these major cities throughout the country. So it's just, that's a huge issue for people. Because not only is it you don't know who's coming through the border, you don't know who they are, they're not being vetted correctly, they're letting in who knows what, there could be the cartel coming through, trafficking, all that stuff. They're getting to stay in hotels off our dime. They're getting paid 3 times a day off our dime. They're getting debit cards with like $1,000 loaded on it a month off our dime. And they did nothing to earn it. While we have working class people that don't get anything extra for going to work every day, working 50, 60 hours a week, building the actual country. They don't get anything extra for that. So the world just seems so backwards right now. And honestly, if Joe Biden wins again, which I think, I'm not going to say it's YouTube. I don't want to say certain things, but since I'm still a growing channel. But I don't see how Biden wins personally. I honestly 100% do not see how Biden wins. It just does not make sense to me. I've never personally, the thing too with Biden Trump, I live in a blue state but a red area, so maybe it's a little different for me. I live in a kind of a rural area. I meet Trump supporters all the time. People love Trump, right? Even people that don't like Trump, I have never met someone that actually likes Biden, like genuinely likes Biden. And it's crazy because I'll say it. I live really close to Delaware. Joe Biden represented Delaware for 35 years. Okay, I live very close to Delaware. Nobody in Delaware likes Biden. I go to Delaware all the time. Nobody likes Biden. And it's just, I just don't get it. I really don't. And it's like, how many are there really like more Trump haters in the world than Trump supporters? Like there can't be that in our country that many more Trump haters than Trump supporters that see how the world has been the last 3 or 4 years and think, oh my God, well, all of this going on, the inflation, the immigration, all this stuff, is better than meme tweets. Like, there's no way there can be that many people, right? I hope not, honestly, for our sakes. I hope it gets better at some point. But thank you guys for watching. Let me know in the comments who you think is going to win the debates and who you think is going to win the election. I think it'll be interesting. I'm thinking about maybe like live streaming it during that. If you guys are interested in doing that, maybe commentating. We'll see what happens when it gets there. But make sure you follow all my socials down below, and I'll see you next time.